Hello there, this is Honey Acres' new homestead. We actually are somewhere. We have landed at a new place and purchased another home. Now, the last time I made a video, we were in Montana and we were striking out trying to find a new home up there in Montana and Idaho. We had a property that we put an offer on that we thought was going to be just amazing. It was beautiful. It was 60 acres to Idaho so that we could go see this property that we thought was going to be amazing. Turns out it wasn't amazing. When our deal fell apart, because it was going to be probably 2 months if everything went smoothly. Our property that we were hoping to get up here in Montana, it fell through very surprisingly, and we took a break so we could figure out what we were doing. Before that, we had our homestead in North Carolina, and about 1.5 years ago is when we had our homestead in Eastern Tennessee. So now the question is, where are we right now? Well, we considered lots of things when we were trying to figure out where our next homestead should be. We discussed driving through Missouri, Arkansas. We ended up actually coming back to Eastern Tennessee. So we are probably about an hour away from our first original homestead, our old home that was where we had the mudslide. Coming back here, we felt a little bit like, why did we ever leave and do this in the first place? Because it was expensive to load up a U-Haul truck and drive up to Montana and Idaho across the country and camp for 5 weeks. And we unloaded the U-Haul in a storage building. Then when it came to the end of 5 weeks and we figured we were kind of done looking up there, we got another U-Haul and loaded that up and drove back across the country. It was like a big, expensive, stressful vacation, maybe. But we did get to see some family that we hadn't seen in years, which was wonderful. And we also met some new friends. So overall, it was a great character building 5 weeks, and in the end, we ended up coming back to what really feels like home here in Eastern Tennessee. In hindsight, we began to realize along this house hunting journey that this is probably the worst time to try to buy a house, because interest rates are really low and everybody's trying to buy a house, especially moving into more rural areas. So there was so much competition, and in order to get this house that we actually ended up getting, we were here within 2 hours of it posting, got our offer submitted that same day, and come to find out 4 other people wanted to see that house that same day and 12 people the next day. So that's just a little bit of a glimpse of how many people are out here looking for houses. We were blessed to be able to be the first ones to get this house. So this property has a lot of things that we were hoping to find. It is 5 acres, which is about half of what we had in North Carolina, but it's the right 5 acres. It's very private. The end of the road, plus a long driveway leading up to our house, gives us a lot of privacy. The property hasn't been cleared, so we are really fenced in here with a lot of lush Tennessee jungle. And Peter said you would almost expect to see monkeys swinging through the trees because it's just so wild, and like I said, it's very lush. Things grow really well here. So we've got the privacy that we were hoping to find. We have a house that's a simple house. It's a mobile home, but it fits our family, and it's kind of a blank slate, so we can make it what we want to make it into, make it feel like home, which we've already started working on the kids' rooms and getting them painted and working on the walls and things. Now you can tell years ago that they used to have some sort of animals here. We've seen remnants of electric fence running through the trees, of kind of like animal wire, and Titus, our son, actually found a horn, like a sheep or a goat horn, somewhere in the grass. So animals used to live here, but the people we bought it from, they didn't do anything with animals. They didn't clear any of the land. So that's actually one of the first things we wanted to get on, is starting to clear around the perimeter of our house so that we can push the wild jungle back and give ourselves more space for goats and chickens and a garden and all the things that we want to do here. We are starting this homestead from scratch. We have no chickens, we have no goats, we have no honeybees, we have no plants growing. We have 2 dogs and 4 cats, which obviously aren't growing us any food or producing any food. So we have a lot to do, and there's no animal structures or fencing in place. Now, our first homestead in eastern Tennessee, both of our last homesteads, I call them Insta farms. They had fencing and pasture, they had barns, they had, it was like, just throw your animals in there and it's ready to go. This is the opposite. There's nothing. So we are kind of excited for the challenge of designing our own animal spaces, and we have lots of ideas. So we're clearing land, we're planning on a chicken coop, a goat barn, all these things that we're going to need in the near future, because we already have some things in the works as far as chickens go. I like to refer to this property that we have here, and this house as well, as a diamond in the rough. There's so much potential, and it's the right location, and it's the right property, but it's undeveloped. It is not yet reached its full potential, and that's all right, because we have a lot of ideas and we're excited to transform it over time into a amazing food producing homestead. And we're gonna, of course, document the whole process, starting with the beginning, clearing the property and building some animal structures. So now that I've kind of described the property a little bit, let me walk around and give you a little tour of our new place here. This building behind me here is a really amazing asset to have. It is a very, very large 3 or 4 car garage. It's massive. And the person who we bought this house from, he did work on cars. So he built this. It's amazing. It's going to be so useful as we build things and make things for the farm and storing food and just whatever we want to do in there. It is just a massive, wonderful building. So we're very excited to have that. This right here, I don't know if it is an incomplete like patio place or what the original intention of it was, but we thought, hey, this is a pretty good start for a greenhouse, and we might we might, unless we change our mind, put a greenhouse on this site. So just another little thing that we got going here. Behind me, you have our long private driveway, which is really nice to have. We really like it. So it's pretty long. You can't see the beginning from here, and it has a nice gate in the front. So it's pretty excited about that. We have lots of mature trees and also some over mature trees. That's a large pine tree that decided to just give up a couple days after we got here. So now we've got to work on getting that cleared. But this is just kind of a look around at how green and lush. And of course we have our Tansy dog, our livestock guardian dog that is currently out of work, but only for a short time, as we are already looking into getting some goats for her. Huh. Good girl. We actually didn't know this was here until several days after we moved in. This is a little baby pond. It's just a tiny little pond, and it really needs to be kind of cleaned up a little bit, and we do plan on doing that. We'll probably rent an excavator and just dig it out and get it a little deeper. Great place for ducks or geese. So yeah, that was kind of a nice surprise. Here's more of our private driveway. Eventually it will be like driving up into our own little food oasis up there. I look forward to that. This is another building. It's just an unfinished building, but it's nice and solid, and we've already got it working for us. This is the inside of that building. It's just 2 big empty rooms, but it was a great place to set our incubators out, and we've already got them working for us. When I look at all the leaves and all the things that are growing here, I just keep thinking, that's goat food. That's goat food. As Peter knocks down small trees, more goat food. Poison ivy, also goat food. We really got to get some goats. They would have an absolute blast just eating this up and clearing it up for us. Even though Tennessee does have its humidity, and we're not big fans of that, but of course, who really likes humidity? It is nice to be back here after our wanderings, to end up in a place that really does feel like home. We lived here for almost 5 years. Our son was born here. We know people here. It feels like home in many ways. And after our long, tiring journey up north and back, it was nice to be able to end up here and begin to get settled again. And God just used this whole process in order to prepare us for this scenario, to be back here. And that's all right with us. It was a lot of work. Like I said, it was expensive. It was a lot of time and energy and some frustration. But in the end, God uses all things, the good, the bad, the ugly, to the good of those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. So, like I said, big character strengthening journey that was. And in the end, there's a happy ending.